It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 5, beginning at verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Skipping to verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrels women shall bring forth monsters. Which we're living in a time where, you got animals in different habitats. You got a lot of, I know we're seeing coyotes in our city, in, neighborhoods, as opposed to, the woods or the forest, or where they typically would be dwelling. And we living in a time where you have a generation of children that have no understanding, have no morality or integrity, that's really living, a life of a Lester Crowley under Satanism, do as thou wilt. That's why you got homosexuality at an all-time high. Verse 9, and salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. Because the scriptures tell you in the book of Amos, chapter 8, about a famine of the word. So, at times when people are going to be searching for answers, the Most High is going to make us dumb. He's going to take his prophets from actually being out on the streets. This is not going to be a forever thing. You get what I'm saying? And you're seeing that now. You know what I mean? You seeing things turn up, and the more things turn up, the scriptures say, "Do my prophets no harm." So, yes, we were tasked with doing this, but at the same time, this wasn't a job to be done to the end of time. As far as going out on the highways and hedges, what the scriptures talk about, the five foolish virgins. Five are wise, five are foolish. Trying to get the oil. You're going to tell them to go to those that sell, roughly paraphrase. Verse 10, and shall be sought of many and yet not be found. So people are going to be seeking for answers, but ain't going to be able to find them. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency, salakia, be multiplied upon the earth. And when you go into that word, incontinency, basically it means lawlessness, which you're seeing actually ramp up. The carjackings are up in many states. I think Chicago, New York, California, if I'm not mistaken. Got a lot of home invasions. You got a lot of stuff going on. So we are in these times of unlawlessness. I want to start off by giving all praise. All honor, and all glory to called Loyam La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachakodas Brakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth for faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Shalaki, Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom to Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So, I saw this article because I was searching for a topic to do a video on. And it's a lot of things going on, but this caught my attention because it's a sign of the times and it's prophecy. Yahweh Shai actually prophesied it. So this says, I tame another mail carrier robbed more victims of stolen mail. And, it makes me think because, I grew up, I don't have a very detailed memory of it, but, most Jakes grew up in the projects because the projects was, a means for low incomes to survive, but you was never meant to stay there forever. And that's what turned it into a curse. You got generations of families that just live in the projects only thing that the mother can teach her children is, okay, you apply for a housing unit. That's why it's a curse, because look at how people in the projects live. Look at, it's always crime, always violence. You don't want your children growing up like that, but some people are actually, what's the word? Allotted to, that's their lot to live like that, you know. But you think Jake thinking it's just, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. When that's a curse, you ain't supposed to be living that close all over each other. You know what I mean? So if this is a video, I'm gonna play it.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it.
She was ringing the bell, and I'm like, who's ringing the bell like that? So my husband opened the door, and she said, I just got robbed.
A man with a gun robbed a mail carrier. She ran to this home on East 196 in Euclid, not to make a delivery, but get help.
She was shook up that she couldn't even describe the guy. And she was like, I was just trying to get away alive.
Oh, my God. He said she was moving too slow. She better hurry up before he shoots her.
Happened Saturday evening, just after dark. A Postal Service supervisor called police, and this case ties into a recent trend. The robber only stole keys, including one used to get into mailboxes.
Okay, and what did he take?
He has the key that can open up the collection boxes.
Still at the mailbox right now.
Last month, the I-Team revealed crooks getting into mailboxes, taking off with mail, then forging checks, stealing big bucks from your bank accounts. We first heard of it in Richmond Heights, Rocky River, and Parma. Then more victims from throughout the area have contacted the I-Team saying checks they had written had been stolen, altered, and cashed, cleaning out their accounts.
I realized it when I got an email from my bank, and they sent me an email saying my checking account was down to zero.
Not clear if what happened here in Euclid is tied to any of the other crimes. Mailboxes broken into and postal carriers robbed. The postal inspectors say some local police departments have made arrests, and the postal inspectors are, quote, confident in the direction of the overall. Euclid police investigating the latest holdup. Late last year, a robber also stole keys from a mail carrier in Cleveland. In most cases, the crooks have gotten away after stealing from postal workers or mailboxes. Denise happened to help her mail carrier get away safely. Oh, good thing you guys went home.
Yeah, I'm glad we were too.
Ed Gallick, Fox 8, I-Team.
So, there's no point of reading the article because, they pretty much summed it up. But I was speaking on, growing up in the projects, and, they used to have a thing. They literally would beat up the mail carriers back in the day, coming through the projects, beat him up and take his bag because they were trying to get those checks. So you got all these scams and schemes going on right now. You got the government, your government that you trust in, literally scheming and scamming. So, it tells you in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, I believe, about how the judge of the city is, so are the people. If the government's scamming, of course the people scamming. You got all these people committing these fraudulent PUA and PPP and all that. I was going to do a video on that, come to find out it was a whole bunch of celebrities that were linked to a PPP scam. So, yeah, that's how this place is over with. You got Biden up there talking about you got to send 8,500 troops. Yeah. And Russia's just moving the way he's moving because, Putin, because most countries don't respect Salaki. Most countries don't respect America, And you got the people proud, the devil trying to do some other shit. You got to actually pay attention to what's going on in the background. Now the Biden administration withdrew the whole mandatory COVID testing for, these employers, these large employers. So, but you really think it just stops there? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a fight all the way to the kingdom. It tells you in the book of Acts chapter 14, through much tribulation, we shall enter the kingdom. So a lot not to be jumping all the way all around, Yahushua prophesied the violence, and basically he said, if you don't move faster, I'm going to shoot your ass. Threats, but it could have been serious. You know what I mean? You don't know. Like I said, and best believe that's just not one person. Whoever thought is on like has a part to play in this. They thinking long term because, like I said, they ain't just come to get, they coming to get your bank accounts. You know what I mean? So that ain't no little bitty, like some little nickel and dime type shit. That's some they getting money. This is Book of Matthew, chapter 24. Because this is when Yahweh Shah was basically telling the disciples what signs will be on the earth, so you know that we are at the end and beginning of his return. This is Matthew 24 and verse, and this a number of them, but I'm gonna get straight to the point. It says, and because Matthew 24 and verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Verse 13, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And iniquity meaning the lawlessness shall abound. So it's more laws of the scriptures, basically lawlessness, just like I read in Second Ezra, that was talking about the end as well. You're looking at the signs, which are the tokens are which are the signs, which are the prophecies, which are the things that were said to occur, to know that what time we are in. That's what we're called watchmen, because we're watching for the signs. You know what I mean? It says, because iniquity sins upon sin will increase, the love of many shall wax cold. So that's why they robbing mail carriers and whatnot. Which, like I said again, I recall growing up where they were doing it. They beat the mail carrier up, take his mail bag. Then people, especially it was always around the first of the month. And then you always got somebody that's crooked that can actually cash checks and whatnot. When I was in the world, you know what I mean, like. Jake knows something about something. What I mean, Jake be, Jake just surviving. You know what I mean. Yeah. But I mean, I'm so glad called Loyam Layah Bashim Al Shah that I came to the truth, because now I realize that what we was doing is not real living. I was just telling my roommate that what I mean, like what we doing is not real living. What I mean, we're not gonna really live until we get into the kingdom. And I finally understand that concept with the elders and certain elder brothers and the elder apostles was speaking on when they said that. Because at the end of the day, a man that's really rooted and really believes this, you might have something that you enjoy or like here to get you through the day, but you don't really like, you don't like this place. Once you really realize that your children are tainted, everything that everything on the side is tainted, and that's why everything we're not even leaving with these bodies. So what I mean. Well, we ain't gonna be able to take nothing with us unless the Lord. What I mean. You may even be able to take your family to a degree. But as far as all this carnal shit, I mean, the Lord gonna destroy carnal things and people. So But it said, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And this is the first time in history that you've got, all these camps are all around the world. And I'm speaking first and foremost about GMS, because you got other Israelite camps that tell the truth. And like the elder was saying, they commend those when you're doing the right thing and you're on point. But when you're going off, you're gonna get rebuked, and that's also in the scriptures. You know what I mean? Rebuke is for correction. If you're going off, you should be corrected, and that's out of love, because a person that don't give a fuck ain't gonna say nothing. You ever had something on your face or a booger sticking out your nose? I mean, not to be graphic, but just we've all experienced a booger, and you walking around people and speaking to people, and ain't nobody saying shit. The motherfuckers don't give a fuck, But if a person actually sincerely cares, they'll take time, it don't take too much. So, rebuke is out of love. I'm gonna end on this. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Verse 2, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And you're seeing all this happen right now take place. This is the point I wanted to get to. Verse 3, without natural affection, like that man was without natural affection for that lady, female Mary carrier that he robbed at gunpoint and told her if she don't hurry up, he was going to shoot her. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontent. And that go back into that in incon- incontinence, incontinency, fierce despisers of those that are good. So that was the point, incontent and fierce, you know, without natural affection. That's all, for the love of many shall wax cold. So, you coming in some um, dark, like dark times. And the only power that's going to, rescue you or protect you through that is the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So if you a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Semite, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Hashem, Arachak, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth for faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, which appear like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Until next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.